goes is that you, if possible, please raise your hand and I will ask you to unmute yourself. Then you tell me your question and then I give you the answer. Okay. So that's the template that we're going to follow. So yeah, let's get started. Any questions in Java, please don't hesitate. Ask me anything that you want to clarify, and I'll try my best to help you understand that concept. So anything that you have for me, please let me know. If you don't say anything, most probably I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. But I would really appreciate if you can, like unmute yourself or at least raise your hand and then I will unmute you and then you can ask me questions. This is not a lecture class. This is basically just a doubt resolution class. So I will not be giving any lectures. It's just that I will be answering doubts. My voice is not audible because I'm not saying anything. I hope you can hear me now, Aditya. Can you? Oh, you have not connected to audio. That's why it's not audible. You need to connect to audio, please. So any questions in Java? Anything at all? Insertion, bubble, and selection sorts. Well, that is not related to Java, to be honest. It's a data structures and algorithms question or topic, I must say. So I'm not sure how relevant it is to our conversation today. These are three different sorting algorithms with three different time complexities. That's what they are, but they're not related to Java. If you still want me to go ahead and explain, I can do that. But I want to save the time for those people who want to ask questions specific to Java because that's what this session is for.
Hello.
Hello, yes?
Sir, can you explain about exception handling and
Yeah,
wrapper
sure.
class?
And wrapper class, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Let's start with exception handling, okay? So let me also share my screen. All right. I hope you can see my screen now. Can you?
yes, sir.
Okay. Let's try to understand what is exception handling. For that, we need to understand what is exception. Do you know what is an exception?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what do you know about exception?
Exception is nothing but it is a bug in the code
Bug in the code.
where
Okay.
we can means where we can resolve on our own.
Okay. Okay. So exception, let's try to look at it. Okay, please do not draw on my screen. One second, let me remove that. Just one second. Hmm. Better now. All right. So there are problems that can come in your code. For example, if I write system.out.println, hello, but if I miss this comma, right? And if I run this code, it will not run, correct?
Yes.
It will not run, right? So there are two types of problems that can come in while running a Java code. One is called as error and the other is called as exception. An error is a problem that cannot be fixed, but an exception is a problem that can be fixed. Now, what is the meaning of fixing a problem? Fixing a problem as in like the code cannot the code does not know what to do when the problem has occurred. That will happen when we are doing or when we are dealing with error. For example, no matter what I write in this code, it will never run because there is a semicolon missing,
Yes.
right? So this is an error. However, an exception is a problem that can be handled. An exception is a problem that can be handled.
Yes.
Okay, an exception is a problem that can be handled, and the technique of doing that is called as exception handling. Okay, so we need to understand what is an exception. Now, there are two types of exceptions. Exceptions that can occur in runtime and exceptions that can occur in compile time. Let me give you an example. So suppose I write a function uh, public void or public, let's say double or let's say float, divide two numbers. Okay, is this code clear?
Yes, sir.
Is this code clear? Now, so let's say I go over here and I start to call this function. Let me make the static only static. Okay, now if I say uh, system.out.println divide two numbers, and let's say I pass 10 comma 5, then what will be the answer? 2.0,
2.
right? But what if I
Yes.
make this 0? Then what will happen?
Exception.
An exception will be thrown, right? So you can, it says infinity. Oh, that's because I'm doing it like this. Okay. What if I write it like this? You see an exception getting thrown?
Yes, sir.
It says exception. Exception in thread main java.lang.arithmetic exception. So this is the type of exception. So first of all, in Java, exception is a class. You can see exception is a class that can have multiple children. So exception class has one child called as runtime exception. Runtime exception. You can see that it will say that class runtime exception extends exception, right? So runtime exception is an exception that can occur in runtime. Otherwise, everything else will be occurring in compile time. So this is a runtime exception, which is arithmetic exception. If I open this class, you will see that it says arithmetic exception extends runtime exception.
Yes.
You see? So now we can handle this exception by writing a try catch block. So try, and then we write catch. And here you can write the exception that we want to handle. And we can say handling exception. So now if I run this code, this line will throw an exception, and that exception is getting handled in the catch block. This is how exception handling works in Java.
Sir, what if multiple catch blocks it will be present?
You can actually add multiple catch blocks also. For example, let's say you can say int n is equal to new, or I can just write something like this. Just give me 1 second. Okay, this is an array. Okay, now let's say if I write you see this code that I've written?
Yes, yes.
Now you can see what is happening. So first of all, br.readline can throw a IO exception. So IO exception is a runtime exception, sorry, compile time exception, because it is extending directly the exception class. So Okay, we'll come to this part later, but you can see that I'm taking two arguments from the user in the console, and then I am dividing those values of the array, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is this clear? Now let's say if I write, for example, if I write, you can see the size of the array is 10.
Yes, sir.
Size of the array is 10, right? Now let's say if I write, let's say 9, and then if I write 5, then this will give me a value 1. Why? Because 9 is at, what is at 9? It's at 0, 1. Like 9, at 9 we have 8,
And
correct? And at 5 we
yes,
have 5, we have 5. No, I'm saying it wrong, I guess. At 9 we have 9, and at 5 we have 5, right? But let's say if I rerun this code, and if I say 8 by 4, then it gives me 2, correct? But what if I say 9 by 10? You see, now I have a different type of exception.
yes, sir.
Yes. Why? Because I'm accessing the value 10, which is not present in the array. Right? So
Okay.
this part is giving me an exception. Right? Similarly, I can write, let's say 9 and 0. It gives me this exception, arithmetic exception. So I can add one more catch block saying are you understanding what I've done? So if this exception is thrown, then this catch block will be invoked. If this exception is thrown, then this catch block will be invoked, and so on and on. But the hierarchy is also going to take care. If let's say this exception and this exception are related, or okay, let's not talk about that relation for now. But what I'm trying to say is that hierarchy matters. Whatever exception is whatever catch block is written first, that exception will be checked for first.
Okay, sir.
Something like that.
Sir,
Now, in this
I could
case,
not.
just one more line I want to say. In this case, you can see that both the catch blocks have the same body, handling exception, right?
Yes,
Both of
sir.
them have the same body. So you can do a multi-catch statement like this. And now you don't need this anymore. Not needed.
Okay.
Now you were saying something.
Sir, I have a doubt in integer a equal to integer dot percent. What it will take, basically?
This part.
Yeah.
So if I write 9 over here, this is coming as a string, and which I'm converting into an integer by writing integer.parseInt.
Sir, is it array? Is it taking input int a
Yeah,
equal to
yeah.
integer,
br.readline is an input which is coming from here.
or else it is taking from the array?
I'm not able to I'm not able to understand your question. Are you trying to ask about line number 13 and 14?
Yeah, I am, sir. I am asking about integer a equal to integer dot percent. 13th line is there, no, sir? Is it
Hmm.
taking the input?
Yeah, this is taking the input from here. For example, if I put the code in debug mode and run this code, you will see that this line is now running, and if I write 9, then the code goes to the next line. See, now the value for A is equal to 9. But if I
Okay,
write
sir.
10 over here, then the value for B will become 10.
Okay, in 15th line, is it taking the integer, or it is taking the input of 13th and 14th line
Yes, that's
array
correct.
of?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that's my doubt.
Hmm. So this is what is exception handling in Java.
Sir, when to use means finally?
Finally, when you should use finally when you have to do something irrespective of whether the exception occurred or not. So whether the exception came or not came, it does not matter. This block of code will be executed.
Okay, sir.
So usually this is done when we have a cleanup scenario.
Sir, try block will be executed every time.
Yeah,
Okay.
try block will be executed anytime, every time.
Okay, sir.
So you will execute this, then if an exception came, then it will go to the catch block according to whatever exception is being caught.
Okay, sir. Understood. Can you
Hmm?
explain about wrapper classes?
Yeah, sure. So wrapper class, there is a concept of primitive data type and primitive data types and non-primitive data types in Java. So primitive data types would include int, float, char, boolean, etc. In Java, we have wrapper classes like this, integer. For example, you see integer. So this is a class that actually wraps an integer variable, an int variable. Let me see if I have it. Okay, I can't find it. But what I want to tell you is that this integer class is a class that has a integer variable inside it. So that
Okay, sir.
whenever you want to use it, you can use the class reference and it can behave the same as an integer. That is called as a wrapper. Like you think about like there's a chocolate, right? But on chocolate, we have put a wrapper on top of it. So it's like that. So
Yeah,
integer class is a wrapper on top of an integer variable. That is the concept of wrapper classes.
sir. Can you explain with example?
Yeah, sure. So if I remove it, if I write, let's say integer a is equals to 10. Okay.
Yes.
And if I write int b is equals to 10, or let's say 12. And if I say print a and print b, run it in debug mode. Oh, oh, I know. See, you see integer a, right? So if I expanded, you can see a value.
Yes, sir.
This value, so this integer class has a value or has a data member called as value, which is of type int. Let me find for value. Value. 231 entries. I don't even know where it is. Yeah, you can see over here.
Private control.
Yeah, so
Yes, sir.
it is, so this integer class is wrapping over on top of this integer value, int value.
Okay,
That is
sir.
what is happening. Okay, now you know the pass by value, pass by reference thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me give you an example. It's a public static increment, increment increment. Let's say int a. Whatever value will pass, it will increment it. Okay, let's make it integer a. What is the problem over here? Okay, let's say if I write increment a. Okay, it does not return anything. Fine. Mm, yeah, let me try. Just give me 1 second. I'm getting a phone call. Just give me 1 second, please. Yes, I'm back. So we were writing this code, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see how it's going to act or how it's going to behave. Okay, so now we have A, And now we have B. So you can see that the value for A did not become 11 and the value for B also did not become 12.
Yes, sir.
Right? You see it? It should have become, it should have changed, right? We could have assumed that it could have changed, right? But it did not
Yes, sir.
change, right? Uh, it did not change. It could have changed, but it did not change. But so here in this case, it is behaving like a primitive data type. But usually, what would happen is in other situations, it would behave like a non-primitive data type. That is what is would happen in case of a wrapper class. So we have the concept of wrapper class primarily because of collections, primarily because of collections and maps. That is the reason why we have a concept of wrapper class.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, if then if we update B value, then it will be updating, no,
Sorry.
B value. If we update the B value in increment function,
Hmm.
will it change the value?
Can you repeat one more time?
Sir, in increment function,
Hmm.
if we update the value, it will be changing in the output, right?
It should. If we change the value, it should. Okay, let me see. If I write, let's say 15, something like this.
No, sir, I'm asking about B value.
B value.
Yes.
I mean, how can we change the value for B in increment? Like we have passed it. Let's say if I write A equals to 15 or A equals to, let's say 20, then it won't change, right? Here we are passing the B variable, right?
Yes, sir.
Here we are passing the B variable. So it won't be changing, I guess.
Okay, sir.
It won't change. Also, one more thing, the value inside the integer class is a final, so it will never change. Very much like an int variable.
Okay, sir.
Any more questions?
Hello, sir. I have a
Yes.
question that can we
Mhm.
construct a default constructor into parameterized constructor?
Yeah, we can do that. For example, if I have this class, let's say, let me remove it. So if I have to create a demo class for now, I have to write code like this. Demo D is equals to new demo, right? So this is the default constructor,
Okay.
correct?
Yes.
Right? So far it is correct. But if I want to make it a parameterized constructor, let's say public demo string, let's say name, where you're doing nothing but just printing name, then you're mandated to write a name over here. Let's say Shantanu, which is my name. It's mandatory for you to write it. So this is now your default constructor.
Yes.
So now you have a parameterized constructor. Got it?
Okay.
Does default constructor non-parameterized constructor same? No, not same. By default, the constructor that is given by Java to you is a non-parameterized constructor, but you can change it to whatever you want. Default constructor basically means any constructor. I mean, or maybe you can say that, Mickey. I think you can say that.
Sir, can we construct the default and parameterize at the same time?
Yeah, you can do that. Default and parameterized, right? So this is my, you can write it. So this is your default constructor.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
Got it.
Hmm. Any more questions? Any more questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So can you explain what are the factory methods in Java?
Factory methods are a concept or a design. It's a design pattern. It will take more time than we know, but okay, I can try. Just give me 1 second. So whenever we have to create an object of a class, then that time we can make use of a design pattern called as factory design or factory design pattern. Okay, let me give you an example. Suppose you have a interface called as shape. Okay, and this interface has only one function called as, let's say, void draw. Okay, is it clear so far what I'm doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now that we have this interface, now let's say we will create some classes. So I'll write it here only. Class circle implements shape. Okay, so I'll have to implement this function draw. Let's say I can write drawing a circle. Then I can write class rectangle implements shape. Then I have to implement it over here also. And here I can say draw and I can write drawing a rectangle. This so far clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so far clear, right? Okay, now let's say I want to write a function or write a logic to create any shape. So I can write a shape factory, and I can write something like this: public static shape get shape string type. And I can say if type dot equals, ignore case, let's say circle, then return new circle. Else if type dot equals, ignore case, rectangle, return new rectangle. Clear? Otherwise, return null. So this is your factory method. Now, if you have to create it, let's say class factory example, and a main function shape s1 is equals to shape factory dot get shape, and I can write circle. So this will give me a circle, s1 dot draw. Then I can write shape s2 shape factory dot get shape rectangle. Then I can write s2 dot draw. If I run this code, this is what we get. This is your factory method.
Yes, static is mandatory, sir.
Sorry?
Static keyword is mandatory.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So, with the help of example, can you
Hmm.
please explain heap memory and stack memory?
Heap and stack memory.
Yes,
It's very
sir.
difficult to visualize it in front of, I mean, it's very difficult to show it on code. But simply, I'll tell you, whenever any function is executed, right, it is executed in the stack memory. And heap memory, whenever you create a data member, that is stored in heap memory. With the help of an example, I mean, I can show you where goes what, but I can't show it to you in code. It's a
Okay.
concept. Yeah.
So, just give a short example.
That's what I'm saying, right? With the help of it, it's like, for example, if I write it over here, so whatever, uh, I'll show you 1 second. Let me see. I can try. So you can see that I'm trying to create shape S1, right? I'm trying to create shape S1,
Right, sir.
right? So it will go into this function, get shape, right? And it is
Right.
getting triggered from the main function. So now I am inside the get shape function. So you can see main is here, then get shape is here. So this is my stack memory. All function
Okay.
executions are happening in stack, and whatever variables are present over here, they are or in heap memory.
So, heap memory stores a temporary or permanent.
No, temporary variables, permanent not, because the garbage collector will come and delete it.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, could you please differentiate string builder and string buffer in scenario of threading?
String builder and string buffer are there's only very small difference. String buffer is thread safe, string builder is not. That's the only difference. I'll give you an example. Let me see if I can do that. Uh, okay, string builder. Now I'll write for, mm, okay. Okay, let's try to see what will happen. So if I run this code, Okay, what happened? Add index out of one exception. Uh, okay, let me reduce the number. It's a 10,000. Okay, so let's see what happens. You see output.txt. How many lines are there in this file? 23856. Correct? But how many lines should be there? 10,000 plus 20,000, so 30,000 lines should be there, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this problem happened because of multi-threading. So because there are two threads, T1 and T2, and they both are trying to interact with the same string builder, because of that reason, they are not able to append at the same time. They are able to append at the same time, but there is data inconsistency happening because of this. But if I replace this with a string buffer, it will take more time, but the data will be consistent. See, now we are able to reach almost 30,000 lines. Dun-dun-dun. Why do we have THRE? Not sure, but anyway. So there is less data inconsistency in this case. Let me make this a smaller value. Let's say like 15,000 maybe. See, almost it reached. I need to make this even better. My multi-threaded code here is not that great actually. I can try maybe write thread.sleep 1. Now this will take a lot more time because I have added a thread sleeping logic. Let me make it smaller. 0.5 can I add? No. I'll add 1 and I'll add 2 here. 2. Or let me do vice versa 1 and 2. Now this will take a lot of extra time, but let's see if we can actually see the output here. Yeah. You can see that we got these many lines. So basically in string buffer, when two threads are trying to modify the same string buffer, it is more thread safe. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Any more questions? We have 10 minutes last.
Any more questions? If there are no more questions, then I can close the class, honestly. Any more questions? All right. Seems like there are no more questions. Then I think we can take a hard stop here. So thanks for joining. I will see you next time.
Thank you.